Good evening, all. And I'm seeing now we have representation from investment and finance. This is very good. Like I told you, this class is going to be quite big. There are even people that are not working for ZESCO that would want to join the class because I've been following it religiously on YouTube.
That's right.
So you should not miss this chance. Ensure that you attend all lessons. And you have to do a lot of practicing. I'm currently in South Africa. I came here to attend a funeral. My colleague and the director at ZESCO, Namakanda, or Francis, lost his father-in-law. So I had no option but to come here to come along. Okay, we can continue. We are now on module 4. The modules that we have, there are 7. There were 6 initially. I've added another one on the error checking because I think it's very important that you need to have those tools in your toolbox on how to check errors in financial models or just spreadsheets. So today, we'll look at module 4, which is basically the logic toolkit. You will need to have this toolkit with yourself. I don't think you'd be in a position to develop a full financial model without the logic, without using the logic toolkit. This is why you have your ifs, your ands, your ors. There's this tendency when you are actually learning Excel of trying to come up with very complicated formulas. It actually shows an experienced financial modeler will be able to know at a distance that he or she is actually an amateur based on how complex you string your formulas. Financial modeling, guys, uses basic functions and short formulas because that is part of the first rules that I keep on telling you. And it just makes your financial model more efficient. There are a lot of crazy things that a lot of amateurs do, such as naming a cell. I'll show you how to name a cell, but I'll tell you why you should not name a cell.
Remove the music so I can.
So the logic toolkit, one of the tools that you need in that toolkit is the if statement. We use this word or term in our day-to-day life. And even when we are using it, sometimes subconsciously we don't, or sometimes we don't even get to know that you're actually using a conditional statement, a logic statement. It's part of the toolkit. If I say, if my father wasn't Mr. Mdiokera, and I could have had the chance to succeed. Or you're saying that because your father is Mr. Mdiokera, you do not have a chance to survive. So there are 3 key things that are in there. You have the logic test, and if that logic test turns out to be correct or to be true, this is the result. That's the second part. The third is, if it doesn't turn out to be correct, or else this is what is going to happen. So let's get into the meat of it. So the syntax of the if function is that the first part is the logical test. You need to come up with that logic. You need to test the logic. And if it is true, what is the result? So you now look at the result and output, or else, meaning that it's false. So it's a very basic function, but very important function in financial modeling. Probably not Excel, but in financial modeling. I've always rubbished these things where people want to learn about intermediary, Excel, basic Excel, advanced Excel. Frankly speaking, I don't even know the difference between a basic Excel and advanced Excel. That's a scam which most of people have actually fallen victim to. Just learn financial modeling. When you learn financial modeling, you will get to understand that there are no advanced or basic functions. You can use the most basic function like learn and use it to automate your financial model. Send a statement, yeah. Is it, please, those that have already downloaded the files, you can share them on this platform. I think I've done that before. Probably there were very few people who were there. So please do that for others who came late to have access to the materials. Okay. Thanks, Mula. So how do we apply this if statement in project finance? Remember that this course that you are learning first, you are just learning Excel. So for financial modeling, it goes up to 7 modules. After that, then we go into the real meat, into project finance. In project financing, that is where we're actually going to look at project financial models. What is the logic behind developing bankable financial models? Because if you don't understand project financing, you cannot develop a bankable financial model. It's these things that people just download from Google, and they are not bankable. But what you are going to learn in here, it's something that you will not be taught anywhere else apart from here. So we have 7 modules. First, we had the first module in accounting, just learning basic accounting because you needed it. The second part of our training is on Excel. Again, you learn about certain practices that would actually make you become a guru in financial modeling, especially developing bankable financial models. Then you do financing or project financial models. That is how the course has been structured. So how do we use the if statement? You'll see that bankable financial models, they have what they call flags. They have a construction flag. They have a debt repayment flag. They have operation, a commercial operation, flag. You have different flags. These flags, they actually help the financial modeler not to develop complex formulas. These flags, they are binary in nature. It's 0 or 1, or off or on, or true or false. These are flags, sorry. So let's look at first example here. Just delete whatever is in there. I should have deleted. Just delete what is in here. Should have deleted this. We're not structuring this course. Okay. So here the construction, guys. First, you have a model like this. You have the construction period. You are told that this is a hard-coded a number, meaning that it's an input. So you come up with assumptions, or your client comes up with assumptions that to develop, say, Batoka Gorge hydropower station, it will take 4 years. The capacity is, say, 1.2 gigawatt. Then they tell you COD will be a day just after construction. You'll be given dates about COD, which is commercial operation date. Then probably you have also been given assumptions on operation and maintenance. Sometimes they'll give you a percentage. Mostly it's a percentage. Actually, it's a percentage to be, say, 1 to 3% of your capital expenditure, which is your capex. But the first thing that you have to do is to develop the flags, the construction flag, the operation flag. So in this case, if you are developing a construction flag, you are told the start date is 1st January. The construction period is 3 years. Commercial operation date is December 2026, but usually what we do here, just put +1. It can be on the same date. So commercial operation date is January 2027, meaning that any date before this will be regarded as the construction period. So we can start. We can say equals if, when you see it in blue like this, guys, you press tab. You just press a tab key. If you want, you can use your cursor. You come here on FX, you'll be able to open the functional dialog box where you're able to see the syntax arguments. Or you can say equals if, don't mind about space for now, ignore the first rows. Hello? Yes, Maggie?
Coach, you were saying something about us seeing a blue line. So
Blue
the line
is,
was breaking. We didn't get what you said.
okay, so let me do this. Each time when you are actually entering a function in a cell, say equals if, you have seen that it's blue. Let me do it again. So the function that you want there, it highlights. If that's the one, then it will show blue. If say, for example, what I want is if error, I'll do like this. It will take me to if error. It will be in blue. Are you seeing that, Maggie?
Yes,
This
coach.
part. Yeah. So if that is the function that I want in Excel, then all I need to do is to press the tab key, which is above caps. So I press tab like this. Then the whole function, I'm able to see what it is there. It's if error. If I want to open the function argument box, I'm sure an inexperienced financial modeler, I may be an experienced financial modeler and I feel comfortable working in those functional argument box. I can press Control A, Control and A like this. I'll be able to pop this out. It becomes visible now. Or I can do this. I can say equals if the moment it shows in blue and I am comfortable, this is the function that I want, then I press tab. So if I don't want to press Control A, then I can go to the functional box here, to the formula box, and go to the FX and press FX. I'm able to open this and it becomes easier to read it. So,
But I'm a bit I'm a bit behind. Whenever I press tab or even try to press FN tab, it's just scrolling to the next cell. I'm using the same document that was shared.
okay, do this. Let's start. Press equals if.
Even if there are numbers in mine, I should still press equals, or maybe I clear it out because there are some numbers.
Clear those things. I said clear.
Okay. Oh,
I forgot
okay.
I should have cleared. I was creating this workbook. I was creating some training material. So I needed to.
Okay.
So you go like this, Chileko. Equals, I always put space, but don't put space for now. Equals if
Okay.
it's in blue, that is what we want. Press the
Okay.
tab key. Press the tab key. What
Okay.
what is it showing?
It's showing it's open brackets.
Yes. So once it does that, then you can press Control A. You hold Control and A. Press Control then A like this. You'll be able to open
Okay.
this. Yeah.
Okay. Logic test.
So guys,
Okay, thank you.
the way Excel is built is that where you have, when you open the syntax argument box or the function argument box, the ones that are in bold are mandatory. Like here, the logical test is mandatory. Anything else in there, which is not in bold, it is not mandatory, but it is important. If you don't put anything in there, it will actually assume and may give you wrong output. So here now we have three logical tests. We have, three conditions. First, we have the logical test. Then we have the results, possible results based on that logical test. So in this case, we know what we are doing. We are constructing these flags. So the logical test here is that if anything, the construction period we know is 3, but we'll pick here in year 1, which is R8. So we are saying if R8, I'll attend to you those comments first. If R8 is less than less or equal to R2. That R2, guys, because we want to move the formula, we want to copy the formula, we will need to lock it. The term now that you have known from module 3, locking is anchoring. It means you have to put dollar signs, absolute locking, so that it does not move. You know what locking is now because we looked at it. So how do you lock? You can physically go in that formula bar before R2, before R, you can put a dollar sign. And just after, before the row, you can put another dollar sign. Or you can press FN, F4. And you will have those dollar signs like this. This has been anchored. It is absolutely anchoring. So we are saying, if R8, Y of the years, which is year 1, is less than R3, which is the construction period, less or equal to, it means that if the value is true, you have 1 there. That's the logic. So we know that if the construction period is 10 years and we are in year 1, it means that we are still in the construction phase. And therefore, the output should be 1. Or else, we'll have 0, like this. Then press OK. On the operation flag, it actually works opposite of the construction flag. If the construction flag is 1, the operation flag is actually going to be 0. I can still come up with a formula that just links the construction flag there. But I don't want to do that. In an event that I've made a missing construction flag, it means that even the operation flag is not actually going to detect that error. But I want to detect these errors independently. If I find with my formulas, I find in a particular year where you have both 1s or both 0s, then I know that I've made an error. Then I have to go back and redo that component of the financial model. So here, it will work opposite. The opposite will be this, equals. If, go to if, you see it in blue, press tab. Since we are still learning, it's better that we should be popping the functional argument boxes. Press Ctrl A like this. I'm again getting love with the modeling. Because of the nature of job that I do, I felt that I think it was time to put it aside. But then, for me, lecturing is more of a therapy. I always feel more lighter when I lecture. Just
So
like
happy for
those
you,
friends of yours.
coach.
Hmm?
I'm so happy for you, coach, that you are feeling lighter.
Yeah. Otherwise, without this thing, I would be feeling a bit stressed. So I just like this. So you go, but I haven't taught for the last, I think, 2 years or so. So then now we go to the logic test. The logic test here is this construction period. So the construction period that is an input. We'll have to lock it, otherwise to start moving. So press Fn, F4 like that. So we are saying if the construction period is less than R8, where now you're looking at specific years. If it is true, give me 1, or else give me 0, like that. Press OK. So this is how the construction flag is done. Then go this side. You can press Ctrl R, but the problem with pressing Ctrl R, the formatting gets a bit confused. So if I press like this, of these ones, unless that is what I want. So you know what we did last time. We looked at best special. So if I want, I can pick this and press Control. Okay, if I want, I can go like this. Maybe it's much easier than for you to go the best special way. You can just do Control R, then do Control 1. You press Control 1, you go to border, then you just remove this border here inside. Just move that border inside and put the border the other side here. Oh, sorry. Yeah. And press OK. You have restored your format. So the question is, why do you need this construction? Why do you need these flags? So this is why you need the flags. Here, the task is to compute your O&M, operations and maintenance. You cannot do your O&M during the construction phase of your project. It is not possible. Your O&M are expensed costs. They are not capitalized costs. It is not like IDC. IDC, these are costs that are capitalized because it is interest during construction. O&M, they are expense, meaning they go to the income statement. At least I did a bootcamp in accounting with you guys, so now you understand these things. So for us to get O&M, we have been given a figure up there that on an annual basis, this is the O&M that we have. This is annual, sorry, I didn't complete it. That is basically annual. So we'll come in there, which is R16. You press equals. You pick your O&M there. Just pick it. Lock it. Control Fn. I always put spaces, guys. I'm a financial modeler, so I respect the first rules. But for now, don't mind about these things. Just do it the way we always do it. Times a flag. Which flag am I picking? On operation. On construction, I would use the construction flag if I want to show how CapEx will be dispersed, how CapEx amounts will be dispersed if it's drawdowns. If it's equity, because ideally what happens is that in project financing, all these that we are seeing, these renewable projects where we're giving power purchase agreements, remember that they use project financing principles. And probably it could be one of the reasons. It could be one of the reasons why a number of projects are not taking off. So you find project sponsors, the owners of the project, they come to ZESCO with the view, obviously, of getting the power purchase agreement. But that is not an end in itself. It's actually the beginning. When they manage to get that power purchase agreement, if they are backed up, they have some counterpart funding, which is basically equity, then they can go to the financiers, lenders, DFIs, development finance institutions. I know you'll be learning these things when we go into project financing, to seek for financing. So because it is debt financing, a greater portion of the project cost is supposed to be funded by debt. Usually it's 70% debt, 30% equity as capital structure. Because project finance assumes that it is the project that is actually going to be able to pay back. One, the loan. Two, the equity component through interest. And if you want to sell your shares, you will get what you invested in there. So most of the DFIs, they will demand that you first use your equity before you reach financial close. Before you reach financial close means that then the lenders, they will be able to release that money or to say, this is the money now we have given you. But they are not going to release it at once. So the financial model is also going to guide them over how much must be released in year 1, year 2, year 3 during the construction phase. This is why you need these flags, because to show that in year 1, you'll be able to release maybe 40%, usually it's quite a big chunk. Year 2, maybe 30. Year 3, 30%. That's a spread. So you use these construction flags to model that part. So you cannot come up with a bankable financial model if you do not understand project financing, you do not understand about the covenants that the lenders have given them, about the demands that the equity shareholders have given. It is possible you're a project sponsor and you do not have counterpart funding equity, and most of them, project sponsors, they do not have equity. And how do they get it? Some then go on the market. There are firms, companies that invest in equity, such as Africa 50. So that is where they're supposed to go ideally if they have a brilliant idea. But for ever to release money who is not a project sponsor, it means that that project has heavily excited them. That project has been nicely pitched. But if you have just have a PPA, you do not have a financial model, you haven't done a lot of due diligence, you do not have subsidiary documents such as the implementation agreement that actually shares the risk between the government and the owner of the project. You do not have the great impact study report that shows how much electrons you can input, you can inject in the grid or capacity. Even if you have that document called the power purchase agreement, it's a theoretical document. It will be very difficult for you to find money. It will be very difficult for you to actually go on the ground and start constructing or developing that project. And to be truthful, those are the things that have actually lead to projects not moving. Yes, they have a PPA, then what? So you need to understand these things, guys. So on O&M, you use your operation flag. On CapEx funds that you're dispersing to develop that asset, you use your construction flag. So this is how you do it. Then you go up to here. Copying on the right, guys, that thing where you do control and the special accountant, where you do control C, control V, you're wasting time. When you're copying, you just press control R and you'll be able, if you're copying on the right. If you're copying downwards, you just say control D, meaning you're duplicating the formula on top or you're duplicating anything on top there. Oh, sorry. So I have something like this. So if I'm copying, I want to copy this name here. If there's a formula, it will pick the formula and I'll have what I want. If there's no formula, I press Control D, it will pick that name. So I don't need to do this Control C, then come here, then I say Control V. I don't need to do that. Say Control C. Sorry, let me remove this. Control C, then I come here and say Control V. Why should I waste my time? Should just come here and press Control D. Then I've duplicated whatever is on top. If I'm going this side to the right, I'll just press Control R. That's it. Okay. So if I'm going to the right, I'll just press Control R here. Okay. So this is how you actually use your if function. And as we go into details looking at specific projects, developing bankable financial models, we'll be going in depth, but this is the basic that you need. This is the skill set that you need to develop any complex financial model. Okay, now I can check on your comments. Kindly share the downloadable materials in the chat. This was from Mula. I'm sure you have received. Any, or else did whatever. New messages, I can see them. Okay. Okay, nothing there. So we go to the min and max logic. Guys, this is also another important. It's another important, these are important functions. Which again, experienced financial modelers use them with much ease. These ones, they are very handy when you're actually dealing with the dividends payout. In the model, you should actually show, you should be able to model dividends. Usually when you're modeling this in bankable financial models, you would say a minimum of retained earnings and cash available. So any of the two that is a minimum, that gives you minimum number, that is what you pick as dividend payout. If you have less cash, even if you have high retained earnings, the only dividends you can be paid is what is available. So we use this min and max. Say on tax, if you have a negative income before tax, there's no way you actually pay any inland revenue authority when you've made a loss. So the model itself is supposed to actually be intelligent enough and give you what is required. But the easiest you can do all these things is through a very basic function or through basic functions, which is mean and max. Okay. So let's go to on mean and max, sorry. So here we have the construction flags, the operation flag. We also have taxable income that we need to tax. And in some years, we have losses. So this is what the amateurs would do, amateur modelers would do. They'll say equals, they'll use if. Because they've been given that tool, they would want to heavily abuse it. So let's do it together, guys. Equals if the taxable income is greater than 0, if the taxable income is greater than 0, comma, pick that taxable income. So we're saying if the taxable income is positive, then subject it to a tax rate. So we're saying pick that taxable income times pick the tax rate here. Lock it, guys, FN, F4 or F4, depending on your laptop, how it is configured. Lock it, comma, or else just give us 0, meaning that it's either you have a negative, you have a loss, or you just have a 0 income. Obviously, there's no 0 income, but you just have 0, meaning you haven't made any income, neither have you made any income, no, a loss. So this is what an amateur would do, and will tell you that you have done the correct thing. Yes, the answer is okay. Then copy this to the right. What you have done is correct, but it has been done in an amateurish way. This is what you have done. That's okay. The file is not opening, Mula. Maybe there's a problem. Others have managed. Mukong, have you managed to open your file?
Yes, coach, I've managed.
Then Mula, there must be a problem somewhere. Probably, I don't know. If there's anyone who knows you and who knows your email address, they can send that document to your email box. So,
I think I can just share the link for the group. Maybe it might be easier for people to get it from the group.
Sure. Okay, thank you. So, for a pro, a well-seasoned financial modeler, this is what he would do. He will just use a function called max equals max. Please, let's do it together. Tab. So we'd say the taxable income here, any value. Here, what this function is doing is picking a maximum of that or 0. So you have max. So if you have 2, it will pick 2. If you have negative, it will pick 0. So it just has to pick the maximum. Then times the tax rate here. Okay. The tax rate. Press FN F4. Press. Then take it this side, guys. So you have the same numbers, ideally, but this is the most efficient function or formula, most efficient formula than this one here. We'll go back to what we have done, guys. Did it? I just want to show you something. Then I'll tell you why it is a bad idea. I just did it. Don't worry. Did it? Because I don't want you to go and say, no, a course did not show us how to name cells. So let's go where tax rate is in R5. So you can have a financial model where you name certain constants. It makes your work much easier. You don't need to go into that cell to fish out your input. You can name that. Since you're a financial model now, since you're a financial modeler, sorry, you need to get used to shortcuts. There's a shortcut which you can use to name. It's outer MMD, not UPND, not PF, not TOS, and all these others, or socialist. It is out MMD. That's a shortcut. So if I'm in here, guys, I would say out MMD. You have seen what has come out. So you can use that shortcut, or you can right click here and come here and say define name. You can do that. That's another one. Number 3, you can get in here and name whatever you want to name in your name box. This is a name box. So here, this is the government name. So the government name is R5. Then you can decide to call yourself your maps, to call yourself PDD, Snoop Dogg Doggy, Lion Dog Dog. You can call yourself anything by changing what is in the name box. So you can come here and change what is in there. If, for example, I come here, I change and call it your maps. Don't do that. I just want to show you. I'll press enter like this. So this cell, if you check in there, it now called your maps. So if I come in here and say equals, I pick this times your maps. I don't need to go in this cell to look for your maps. So to go into any other workbook to look for worksheet, to look for your maps, I can just say your maps. It comes there, then press tab. And here now, I'm able to get these numbers there. I can do that. Let me just remove that, what I've done. So by removing that your map thing, so that I go back to the government name, I can then now go to the define the names. I'll go to name manager. I'm going back to the council. I say, I'm removing this thing, so I'll delete it so that we do a correct thing together. Okay. So now, guys, we want to name this. I've shown you so many ways in which you can do. You can come here You can say define name, or you go to name manager. Name manager, you're going to find, it's like a registrar. It's like at the council where there are all the names for that workbook. Or I come here and say, I will define this name, right? But for me, I use a shortcut, which is out MMD, like this. So let's name that cell, guys, as income tax. Let's get what they have done this side. I want us to name it as income tax. What are they calling it? Taxable? No, tax rate. Let's call it tax rate. So come here, I'll say out MMD. Then I'll name it tax rate. You don't leave space. So I'll put a hyphen there, then rate, and press OK. So I'm able to identify this. So now, check what then it does. Let's just go to the pro way. On the pro way, we'll say equals max. We pick the taxable income, comma 0 times here. Now we're going to say tax rate. You see, it's just down there, and I'll press enter. I don't need to go there. Then you do like this. So you have these numbers. This is okay. You have done your tax rate. What? It looks like it is a very cool. It looks like it's a very, very cool operation that you have done. But if you're a financial modeler, then it clearly shows that you don't know what you're doing. It's okay. I'm sure you have opened some financial models or spreadsheets where, as you're opening it, there's a box that comes where you're supposed to keep on clearing it until it goes. It's because of these same things. Secondly, it gets corrupted easily. What you're going to find is that because you have put these names, when you go to, let's go to defined name in the name manager, you'll find a situation where this thing has gotten corrupted and somehow, for some reason, it has been deleted. I'm sure you have seen this error before, guys. This error. Who has never seen this error? Okay, who has seen this error? In your workbook, you open a workbook, you find
I've seen
things.
it, sir. We coach.
When you say, sir, you will fail for nothing. This is yeah, I'm not your director, I'm not your whatever. I'm just your coach. Coach Carter, it's okay. I'm like Samuel L. Jackson. So, when you open a spreadsheet, especially you finance people in here, accountants, you find this name, whatever. Just know that it's a workbook which someone had put those things. They named the cells, and the workbook has become corrupted and just compromised everything in there. So, nakupa pattern, yes, there's a way. I'm begging you, yes, you can, it's possible to name these cells. But if you are developing a serious financial model, which you believe that this financial model, it will find itself in the hands of the development finance institutions, where you're supposed to get your money, where your client is supposed to get money, do not play with those kindergarten moves. Do not do that. But for a file in the department, from one department to another, because you want to show that now you're a guru, yeah, you can do that. But you need to know what it does. But also, if you are receiving a model or a spreadsheet from somewhere and you find this, just know that there's a problem with it. Someone named, and it's very difficult to audit this. You can't. If I come here and say trust precedence, it doesn't show me where this thing is coming from. It doesn't. So let's remove. So let's do the amateur way. We start since we have removed that name thing. I hope you have deleted it as well. So say equals if, I'd already shown you this, guys. Okay. If the taxable income is greater than 0, comma, if it is true, give me this taxable income times the tax rate. I'd already shown you what this thing is, guys. I'm just being fast now. Comma 0, give me that. That's the amateurish way. The pro way, I'll say equals max, pick the taxable income, comma 0. So any of it should pick the maximum of the two times the tax rate up there and allocate it. Then I'll take this two. So an amateur will use that function. A pro will use that function. But pretend for once to be a pro. Okay. Okay.
Coach,
Then,
I've got a question. So one time I was trying to use Copilot to generate an Excel spreadsheet for me. And then when it did, it brought about these name hashtag things. So how do you avoid, or how do you work in a situation where you ask Copilot to help you generate, but then what it generates brings about that issue?
so it shows that the original workbook, which you wanted Copilot to generate, it had this name. The cells were named. So it failed. And that's the biggest problem of using this, of naming cells. So it failed. So it brought those hash name, meaning that there's someone who had named the cells. So how would you know that the workbook which you have, it has these names, whatever? You just go to formulas here, then go to defined names, then go to the name manager. This is where you find the registrar. You find models that I create, you will not find those funny things there. It's clear because I know what it does.
Thank you.
Okay, most welcome. So you can also use a minimum. Here, the issue is not to complete the logic because I just want to show you how you can use your minimum. I've given here on issues of fees, but then you are using, you want to pay a dividend. So you have two variables that determine how much dividend you're actually going to pay. You have cash available and the target dividend there. This is the amateurish way. This is how you do it. You say equals if, let's do it together, guys. If the target dividend is less than the cash available. If it is less than the cash available, comma, give me the target dividend. Otherwise, give me the cash available. You can have something like this. Or if you are using the pro way, you say equals mean in this and that. So you should get the same thing. Then come here and do Control R. Don't know where these yellow things are coming from. I'm sure I made the mistake somewhere. Yeah. Okay. How do I? Okay. Okay. So you can see, not that the amateur did not do the right thing. Went the longer way, it was done correctly, but in an amateurish way. This is the most efficient, and the spreadsheet runs faster, more efficient than using a formula like this one. A mini max is just like a Lamborghini. Using that if thing there, it will run like you are driving an IST. I don't mean any hate to those that drive for ISTs. I'm just saying that is how the functions are. Do not string a longer function. It's against the first rules. Always make them shorter. We have been victims of all these things. We used to create very long functions, long formulas. Those are the ones that actually make Excel take time to open, take time to give you the outputs. Okay, done on this one. We go to the and or. Here, guys, you can, and actually means that all the conditions that you're going to put in there, they should be satisfied. If I give an instruction that Mukonka and Akabondo, you have to, on Monday, you have to go and attend a meeting at the Ministry of Energy. Meaning it's mandatory. Akabondo must not go alone, or should Mukonka go alone? If I say Akabondo or Mukonka, meaning that any of the two will actually pass the condition. So that logic statement, the logic condition, it is actually going to be passed because one of the two has gone to the ministry. So here, we are saying, for us to, we have the cash balance there, and we have debt, annual debt payment. Don't look at the other logics. Let's just focus on what the and does. Here, I'm saying we can only pay, we can start amortizing the debt when this project has gone to operations debt phase. So the operation flag needs to be 1. And there is cash. I cannot pay from nothing. I cannot pay what I do not have. Like they always say that you cannot share poverty. You can't share something that you do not have. So in this case, would say equals if, press if guys, if, then and press tab. So if I'm in there, I can do my control A, but I'm able to see what is happening there. So I would say, what's the first logic? The first logic is that I would go in R12 under the, not the construction, sorry, operation. If R13 equals to 1, meaning that the operation date, where it shows that if the operation date equals to 1, meaning that we have gone to commercial operation, comma, and the cash balance is greater than 0. Then I close like that. If it is true, so for those that will miss one or two things, guys, by tomorrow morning you'll find this lecture on YouTube. All you just need to do is to subscribe to that YouTube page and press the notification button. Sometimes this country we subscribe to things that don't add value. Yeah, so forget about all those that do drama on social media and Facebook. Still remember when I was on Facebook, you'll be forced sometimes. It's just that demon takes you to a person like Ben. So then you become a fan. Okay. So then we say, give us annual repayment. Pay FN F4, or else give me 0. Like that. Then, even when you are doing these functions, again, the science of Excel formulas, when you see a bracket that has turned black, it means that you have completed the whole syntax argument. If it is in a different color, just know that there's a problem. You need to complete it. Podmas or whatever, at least the syntax has to be very complete. Then press, okay. This is what you have. So you see, the first one is where you have 00000 operation flag, where it's under construction. You will see that you are not going to repay. If I change this construction period to 1 year, you will see that you will start from year 2 paying. If I change this to year 4, these repayments, they'll start the other side. That is what the AND does. The O, it will pick. Okay, let's pick 3 years, yeah. It's 3 years. Let's pick 2 years. Yeah, just 3 years is fine. The O, it means that if one condition is okay, that's fine. Here, all the conditions must be true. That your cash balance is greater than 0, and your operation date, and the thing is during the operation date. For O, it is different. I can just say equals, if you do this whole thing, guys, let's move a bit faster. Then I'll say O, tab. I'll start with the operation flag. If this equals to 1, comma, if the balance, the cash balance there is greater than 0, close. If we have this logic, n of the 2, then give me the debt repayment there. I'll repay debt, or else I'll have a 0 there. Okay. So this is what. So at any given time, any of the conditions, if you are able to meet one of the conditions, then you're okay. Okay. We go to handling errors, guys. Time is moving. So there are times when you have errors. And these are errors where you have a 0 because it's possible to have a 0 cash. In this case, when you're dealing with debt service coverage ratios, where debt service is 0, you have a div, an error. So you want to remove those zeros. You want to remove those errors. So for example here, guys, the first thing that you do before you even put in a function that helps you to remove the errors. Here we are looking at the debt service coverage ratio. The formula is very easy. It's cash available before debt servicing over debt service. Basically here, it is what they call CFEDs. So if we are using these terms in project financing, we always use these terms, CFEDs, blah, blah, blah. So CFEDs means cash flow available for debt service. So this is cash flow available for debt service. Then you have debt service. Debt service there is a combination of interest and payment. Interest and the principal, sorry. And usually it is not for a mezzanine debt. It is for a senior debt. A mezzanine debt is a junior debt. What happens in real life, you find that a project sponsor may not have equity. So what do? They go and get a mezzanine, convert it into equity because it becomes one of the preconditions for senior debt to reach financial close. So here is debt service coverage ratio. Guys, let's do this very fast. Cash available divided by debt service. Then go this side up to here, then press Ctrl R. So you can see where you have 0 debt service, you also have divs here. So once you find these divs, this is how you cure them. You cure them using an IFERROR function. So you come here, guys. You press IFERROR. You see it in blue there, press tab. If you want, you can even do it like this. Okay, tab. Then the value, once you press a comma, it will take you to value IFERROR. It will actually body it. Then type 0 like this and press enter. Then press, then do like that. So you see where you have 0, to just show 00x. This is handling errors using your IFERROR, where you have your CFEDs over debt service, cash available for debt service over debt service. Save. Tomorrow, once we post this on our YouTube platform, please go bit by bit. Bit by bit, open your workbook. You can remove all these things that we are doing and start from the word go. Pause, play, pause, play, pause, play until you become conversant and more comfortable of that particular operation that you'll be doing. Here, guys, it is on the flags. So, first thing, You have this construction flag, you have operation flag, you have your revenue here. You want to compute first, maybe let's compute our revenue. Then I'll show you how you come up with how you do these other flags. It's just another trick. So we have the capacity in megawatts. We have the capacity factor. We do appreciate that this could be solar. Looking at the capacity factor is quite low because solar, it's during the day. And even during the day, you have some peaks within maybe 2-3 hours in that particular day, right? And this is how you get your 23. We have our annual date there. Oh, forget about those things. We have capacity, we have capacity factor, we have the tariff, and we have the number of hours. So we want to convert power to energy. Megawatts, that's basically power. Megawatt hours, that is energy. You do not sell power, you sell energy. So we'll say equals, you'll pick your capacity here, lock it, times your capacity factor, lock it as well, times your number of hours in a year, because you have leap years, you have what, so they'll be different. Sometimes we come up with very simplistic assumptions when I develop this financial model. We just say in a year it's 8,760 hours, which may not be true, depending on which year it is. It could be leap years and all that. So for these bankable projects, you need to make sure that you are very precise. You do not assume, you don't come up with assumptions that may not be correct. So times the number of hours, times the tariff in megawatt hours per center. Then times the operation flag. This is what comes in. You see, we are the revenue even during construction, which is not true. So times the operation flag. Then press this, take it the other side. Control R. So you have this. So now, guys, I'm sure you've seen models where the flags is either it's true or false, or you have on, off. Usually they use on, off. So this is a code you should be using. Anything, when you're creating codes in Excel, you have to put those inverted commas. So inverted comma, on, inverted comma, then semicolon, inverted comma, on, and I'll explain this, guys. This is why I'm here. Inverted comma, then off. What it means here is that if you have a positive number, such as 1, it will show on. If you have a negative number, such as -1, it will still show on. If you have 0 here, it will show, if you have 0 there, it will show off. That is what this code does. So let's highlight these two, guys. If you wanted to just do like this, then press Shift, Control, and the arrow key outward, then takes you there. So after you've highlighted that, we want to convert this, instead of them showing these switches, showing 1 or 0, we want them to show off or on. These are flags, they are switches. So press Control 1. We looked at this function religiously. It should have been in module 2 or so. Go to number. Go to number. Up. Go to custom. On custom, guys, remove general there. Delete general. Then put that code. Inverted comma on. Oh, those. Yeah, the inverted commas. Then semicolon, inverted comma, again put on, inverted comma, semicolon, inverted comma, guys, type off, then inverted comma like that, and press OK. So that is how you create those. You need to be a bit fancy, you know, when you are developing these financial models. They need to look nice. Then press OK. So this is how you create those features. So most of these bankable financial models, they show these features like this. At least now you know how they are created. Okay, so guys, I know time is not with me. So these are the exercises that you can do. To create these groups when we do not have these lectures, because we only have Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. When we do not have these lectures, you still meet. Our education system, it has to be revised. Even this thing of writing exams alone, it's not supposed to be like that. This is when you go now in real life, at work, you find that you have to do group tasks. They are never there. It's rare that you do a task by yourself. So even exams, it should have been in groups. But problems that other people start leveraging on other people's hard working. Yeah, but ideally, it should be group exams. Then you will be developing a better society going forward. So having done this, I'll then ask as usual, for a checkout. So I'll pick 2 or 3 people to check out. I'll start with Mwala. Mwala, please check out. Tell us your thing about this course. Just say what you have to say. If you have to insult Coach Carter here, the coach, it's okay. Just do it. Let's hear from you, Mwala.
Good evening, Coach.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. So I'll not insult the coach. Today has been a bit of Chinese for me. I would have to go through the lesson again to pick up. But I have learned clearing the div errors using the if errors. I think that has been a highlight for me. So the lessons are very good and I'm enjoying them. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Mwala. Mkonka, check out.
Good evening, everyone. So it was a good lesson. I would also need to go through things quite a bit with Mr. Chizu. I'm sure since he's quite a guru, he can take me through. But it was good seeing how to use the if and or functions or logical tests or syntaxes, just to ensure that your work comes out in the manner it's supposed to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Lastly, I think we go to Kazembe.
Good evening, Coach. Good evening, everyone. For me, the highlight has been on the use of the if function, how it performs the logical test for returning a false or a true test, and also the combination of the other functions like the and or. But I also need to go through once you upload on YouTube, especially the last two sessions, two slides. It got a little bit complicated for me, but it's much appreciated. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you so much, guys. We'll meet on Monday. Tomorrow, I think by 3 or so, the video is actually going to be the lesson is going to be uploaded there. Thank you so much, and wish you all the best.